Hey folks, welcome back to the Dormouse's Desk. This is the Dormouse's Desk. I am the Dormouse, and it is October, spooky season, and we're doing a currently inked today for spooky season. I have here a Galen leather 10 pen case. I forget which color this is, but obviously it's a brown one. And I have pens in this today as opposed to my Rickshaw Sinclair R, which I generally prefer. It's smaller, portable. It has like extra pockets in it for whatever else you may be carrying, some washi tape or whatever. But I couldn't help myself this month, and I inked up more pens than I normally do. So I needed a case with extra space in it, and this is it. One thing I will say, I normally store my Twsbi Ecos in here because I only have enough to fit. I have one more space for Twsbi Ecos, so the next one has to be a special one because I can't get any more than will fit in the case, right? So one thing that I've noticed about this case is that thin pens don't tend to fit well, and the bands on here are right smack dab in the middle of the pen. So if you have a longer pen like this one here, if you wanted to secure it more with the clip, it's going to run into the zipper, and this is a metal zipper, so you don't really want to scratch your pens, and if you try to push it that way, it's going to push it back up into this flap thing. So thin pens do not tend to do well in here. Ecos do great though, and because the zipper is metal, I like to push my pens up towards the flap to keep them away from the zipper, because otherwise you may come in contact with your pen. But otherwise, I really love how compact this pen case is. It feels really nice, the leather is really nice, the quality is there. It's a Galen product, so you know it's going to be nice. But yeah, so this is this month's inked pens. So let's get started. So I have here carryover pen from last month. This is a Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black, and it has Platinum Chokoro inked in it still, because I like this ink, and it's probably going to be a permanent fixture in this pen. I have gone several days without using it and picked it back up, and I've not had any issues with hard starts. It just works. It works like a charm. I'm so very super pleased with this ink, and I know I've said it probably a million times before, and you might have seen me leave comments on Pen Addict, Twitch, just everywhere about how much I love this ink, and that is because it is super good. If you like black inks, this is a good one. It is worth sacrificing a pen, quote unquote sacrificing a pen, to this ink, in my opinion. And I'm not even sure that you need to sacrifice a pen. I think it'll clean out just fine with distilled water. So yeah, try it. Van Ness has samples of it. They're a little bit pricey. When I bought my sample, I think it was $8 for 4 milliliters. That is expensive, especially if you end up liking the ink. But if you're not sure, that's a good way to dip your toes into the sand, you know. See if you like it. Okay, So we're going to start with the Twsbis. Actually, let's start with black inks. Black ink sounds more fun. This is a Twsbi Eco. And a broad nib. And this is transparent purple with Pennonia Strigoi. This is a, well, I think the base is more of like a blue-black, but it has red pigment particles in here, so it behaves a lot like a shimmer ink, except the pigment particles for this ink in particular tend to stick to the side walls of my pen. This is the box. It has teeth on it. The box is a lot of fun. It says shake before use, because you see you get a lot of settling at the bottom. I really like all the mouths on the bottle design. But yeah, I've not experienced any issues with writing with this. It's a very wet ink. I anticipate it's going to be a pain to clean out of the pen, but I do have an ultrasonic cleaner, and that is how I cleaned. That's how I cleaned the pens that I had this in when I did the ink exploration. I used my ultrasonic cleaner. Most of the pens cleaned out like 99% all the way just by hand. But I'm a little bit anal about pen cleaning, and extra pigment left behind sort of bothers me. One of the reasons that I don't particularly care for shimmer inks is I don't like the idea of leaving shimmer particles behind. But yeah, jiggle it around in an ultrasonic cleaner and you're golden. It cleans out just fine. Actually, ultrasonic cleaners are really great. I had a, I say it like I used to have it, but I still have it. I have a vintage pen that has a lot of ink stuck in the cap. And while I wasn't able to completely clean out all of the ink stuck in the cap, I got most of it. It really improved it. And I had a vintage Pelican, a transparent vintage, I say had, I have a vintage transparent Pelican, and ink likes to get stuck in the section, and the ultrasonic cleaner just does wonders for cleaning that out. Every single time. It's great. So yeah, so it leaves behind red pigment, and I guess we'll see more of that when it dries. It likes to stick to the walls, sticks to the walls of the pen, but never had any issues writing with this, even on drier papers, drier feeling papers, more absorbent papers. It plays really nicely with them. No issues. It doesn't feather. It's a really well-behaved, difficult ink, if that makes sense. Okay, this is a Tools to Live By Lachette. This is a black cat pen. I think I've shown this before. There's a cat on the nib, and I don't know if I'll be able to get close enough for you to see it. There we go. Kind of. But yeah, so there's a cat inscribed on the nib. This is a brass body that's been lacquered. It's a fine nib. This nib is very stiff. Okay. Thought I saw something stuck to the nib. Great experience this month with this pen. Although I haven't had it inked all month, just because, oh, I'm sorry, this is the box, just because it didn't come out immediately at the beginning of the month, which I totally expected it to, and it took a couple of days to get to my house. But this is Wearingeul's Edgar Allan Poe, The Black Cat. This is an Endless Pens exclusive ink. This is what it looks like. It has some sort of like iridescent there, and look at the underside. That is the shimmer. The shimmer is really nice in this ink. It's very subtle. One thing that I enjoy about Wearingeul inks is that they tend to, the shimmers tend to redisperse within the ink easily. Some inks I feel like the ink sticks to the bottom. The ink sticks to the bottom of the container that it's in. And it becomes difficult to, you really have to shake the crap out of those bottles to get the ink to redisperse. I'm really specifically thinking of one ink, and that's the Troublemaker, what is it, Copper Patina? Where the shimmer particles just stick to the side of the bottle. Yeah, so this is not what I would call a black ink. This is a purple ink, a really dark purple ink. And in the bottle, it looks like the shimmer is purple, but I really think there might be some silver shimmer in there as well. I don't always get 100% purple when I look at it in writing. Again, well-behaving ink. I've not had any issues with hard starts or like shimmer clogs. I've not had to like prime the feed or anything. It just worked as it should. And you can see I've gone through practically a full converter. So, good experience there. Let's see, what's next? We'll do this one. We're moving from blackish to grayish. This is a Pilot Prera. This is a medium nib. This has Diamine Ghost in it. This is from last year's Inkvent calendar. I think it was day 6. If that means anything to you. Though I think not all Advent calendars had all of the inks in the same days. But for my box, this was day 6. This was fine. I can't say that I had problems with it. I will say that I think that there's something about this pen that is not exactly airtight, though the capping mechanism is super satisfying. but I really doubt that I wrote that much of the cartridge out. I think it's there's like a leak in the cap somewhere. One more time. But this was a nice color. It's a little bit on the drier side, if that matters. It's not too dry. It's not like a Troublemaker ink dry, or like a Robert Oster ink can be dry. It's just a little bit on the drier side. Your more absorbent papers won't like this as much. But on, you know, Tomoe River, you'll be fine. Next up, we'll do this one, which is my favorite Twsbi Diamond 580. This is the ALR in Prussian blue. And the reason this one is my favorite is not because of this ribbed section, because that's one of the things that I actually don't particularly care for, but this nib is my favorite Twsbi nib that I've ever written with. It's just really good. It's a medium nib. And the ink is Ancient Charm Winter October. And this is the bottle. It's got some ink staining on it, but I can't quite read Japanese yet. I'm trying, but it's a very difficult language for, I think, English speakers. And so I have it labeled on the back. This ink really reminds me of J.R. Bond's Emerald of Chivor. So it has that gold shimmer and then that red sheen to it. It's very pretty, and it behaves really well. Again, no issues with this ink. Actually, you know, this month has been pretty... These are all... like you would expect to have more trouble with some of these inks. I have shimmers, I have pigment inks, or inks with pigment particles in them. You would expect me to have more of an issue with these, but honestly, the inks that I had in the pens last month were more of a pain in the butt because they were less lubricated inks. They were multi-chromatic inks, which can give you hassles, but this is a Leonardo Momento Zero in collaboration with Goldspot, and the name of the pen is Foresta Umbra. Foresta Umbra. This originally had a medium nib on it, but when I bought this from Endless, I also saw that they had the flex nibs in stock, and getting the flex nibs in black has been challenging. I look and then they're out of stock, and like I look again and they're still out of stock. So I was like, oh, I need this now that I see it that it is in stock. So yes, this is Just label it as FF for Flex Fine. And you can get a decent amount of variation out of this. It's not easy, but it is a really, really wet nib. I don't find that this ink is particularly wet. It's like average wetness. This is the box for Homage to Brothers Grimm Green. So the wetness is normal for this. The ink is like a normal average wetness, but the feed is really super juicy. And I do find that it gives this ink, it really shows off the shading of the ink, which is nice. I haven't quite figured out how to use a flex nib, but I'm working on it. We're working on it. I think it's a pretty good match for this pen. This one again. This is my Sailor Pro Gear in Old Fashioned. There's a little cherry on top. Y'all, you cannot buy this pen from me. I am sorry. Let me just get it out of the way. Somebody's gonna ask. No. This is my pen. This is a medium nib. This is my favorite Sailor nib. Even the Imperial Black one. They're basically the same pen body. But this one is special. This is Ferris Wheel Press Pumpkin Patch. And this ink is a gift from Manda. Go check out Manda's channel. But yeah, so this was a gift from Manda. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I think. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, for an orange, it's good. And I don't mean like, yeah, for an orange, like I don't like oranges, but it's a good orange. It reminds me of a lot of other oranges. I do like that it dries down with more like red in it. And the shading is really nice. I don't think it qualifies as my favorite orange, but it's a nice orange, and I'm definitely going to go through the rest of that sample at some point. Not this month, because this month is now over. Okay. Did y'all ever watch that show, Grimm? What was it, like a TBS show or something? It was very formulaic, but it was fun. It was like a detective show for like supernatural stuff. Okay, so this pen is a Twsbi Eco. This is Glow Green. This is 1.1. The ink is Pennonia Dracula. I bought this sample recently, this year, and this ink was a limited edition ink from Pennonia for last spooky season. And I guess when they did the samples, they didn't shake the bottle up a whole lot between each sample because there's not a lot of pigment in the bottom of this one. So what happens is that I get pigment settling in the nib, and it comes out usually like the first couple of words, and then the rest of it I don't get much pigment in at all. So I would have liked to have seen this ink with a more representative distribution of pigment in it, but I was really just sort of like happy that I could find a sample of it so far after the fact. The base red color, I actually didn't mind it this month at all, and I would often pair it with Strigoi for taking notes with. The Dracula was actually a really nice, like, sort of statement color. It was great for underlining topics or like writing like headers. It worked really well for me for that, and the contrast between the two colors was you know, it made it easy to find things in my notes, which I really appreciated. Because if you look at my handwriting, it's not easy. It's not terribly easy to, like, can you imagine paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of this handwriting all in one color? It would be difficult to parse that and find what you needed. So yeah, I really appreciated that as a contrast color. And yeah, again, no issues with this ink going through this pen. It probably helped that there just isn't as much pigment particles in here as you would typically find in a sample, maybe another sample of the same ink. No issues with hard starting or anything. Worked fine on every paper that I put it on. So really, excellent experience with that. And last but not least, I have my Kaweco All Sport. This is the Aurora Borealis colorway. This is, I think, a special edition, and I'm not sure for who or what. But this was given to me by a really dear friend, and it has black trim and a black finial, which I can't tell if that's in focus or not. Maybe not. But black nib. I love this pen. I really dig this one. Kaweco. Okay, can you guess what ink this is? Or B. And this is a double broad nib, which is my favorite nib size for Kawecos. Did you guess? Do you know what it is? I'll give you another second. No? Okay. Let me know if you guessed this correctly in the comments below, please. This is Dominant Industry Romania Red. You all. I don't own a single bottle of red ink. That may surprise you. I have every other color. I have yellow. I have browns. I have greens, teals, blues, purples. What color did I not mention? Oranges. I have orange. I do not have a single bottle of red ink. Ooh, that's a lie. I do have oxblood. I have a little tiny bottle of diamine oxblood. But not really any reds that I've bought on purpose, I guess you can say. This might be one that I buy. I really liked this ink. It's juicy. It's not overly bright. It has undertones of pink to it in like shaded areas. It's sort of like a berry color, actually. But this would look great in a black pen. Amanda likes to pair hers with her Imperial black pen, and I could see where that would be really nice. You could put this in any black pen though, and it would come out really nice. I happen to like it in this dark green colored pen. I think it looks nice with that. It's almost Christmassy, but I think they're both dark enough to not be Christmassy. Okay, so we're gonna let these dry, and I will come back in a minute. All right, y'all, we are all dry. I'm not gonna go into every ink again, but I will show you what they look like dry. I hope you can. It's very difficult for me to tell if you can see this or not, but there is red pigment through this big swatch. I don't get a lot of it in writing. Sometimes I see it, but it is very difficult to see just because the pigment is dark and the ink itself is pretty dark. But it does give it a nice matte look, which I kind of actually really enjoy matte looking inks. The next one, Wearingeul Black Cat. I really love that the shimmer isn't in your face shimmer. It's very subtle. Like you would maybe if you were looking at a cat who had like a glossy black coat. Like, and sometimes you get like a little bit of like sheen, like when cats have a shiny black coat. That really reminds me of that. Cats aren't always like black. Sometimes they're a little bit off, but yeah, it's very much a purple on the underside, on like in the undertones. It's a dark purple ink with purple and silver shimmer. It's definitely two different colors of shimmer. Ghost is my least favorite of the bunch. I like it in the swatch. In the pen, it's fine, but I really enjoyed all of these other inks more than this one this month. So I'll give it another try in another pen at another time. Maybe not anytime soon, but it was my least favorite. Ancient Charm. This was a great combination. I've loved Emerald of Chivor in this pen, but like I've had it in this pen before and it was excellent. Matter of fact, do I have it? Have I done it before? Oh, let's let's take a detour. Because now it's been officially 1 year that I've been in this makeshift, currently inked book. So we can thumb through this real quick. So this was last October. Montegrappa Thestral is still one of my favorite blacks. I love this black. Look at all the sheen on it. Yamadori, Terracotta, Almazold, Abalone, Night Bus, and then Blue Black. Not particularly spooky. Like, the colors are nice. I think the palette is nice, but November we had Roaring Patina Black, Plum, Gray Plum. Yeah. I remember not liking this color at all, but I really love this color. But it's a little bit dry in a pen, so it's hard to pair it with a pen that it feels good in. This ink was really fantastic. I loved this orange ink. December. Oh, there's Emerald of Chivor. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Incredibly similar. I think Emerald of Chivor is just a touch more on the green side, but it's the same golden shimmer and red sheen. I'll bring it closer so you can see that. That's Emerald of Chivor, and that's Winter October. Really similar. And this behaves really well in a pen too. Emerald of Chivor also behaves really well in a pen. I mean, they're in the same pen. Both of them were fantastic. So if you can find this like on the cheap and you like Emerald of Chivor, I would grab it because this is really, really similar. A little bit bluer, like I said. There's a little bit more blue in it, but it's really, really similar. Oh yeah, Deck the Halls was very good. Still had Deck the Halls. February. March. Thunderstorm is one of my favorite inks. This is another really great red, the Tatcha Benezakura. If you're looking for a Christmas red, this one is really fantastic. Lots of gold sheen. Lots of it. April. A lot of gray inks. This Kobe number 23 Nagata Blue. Very pretty. Very nice to write with. Oh. Monarcha C-Note. I'm not sure if it's C-Note or C-Note. This was a really nice one too. It's like a celebratory blue color. May was my rainbow month. Oh yeah, I remember the standout for this month was the Andurilium Flapjack Octopus Orange, if I could spit it out. I really loved that orange. That was really good. This is the Pilot Pereira. Again, I got this pen for my birthday, and so I inked it up with an ink that I also got for my birthday. That Tsukiyo from Iroshizuku. I don't remember the pen drying out then, but it might have. Oh, and Cross Violet is great. Underrated ink. and not underrated because people, it's looked over. I think a lot of the cross inks are looked over, but they're good inks. I really love this combination with the Pelikan M250 and the Ferris Wheel Press Grape Ice Pop. I remember flying through that sample. In that, like, 1 month, I wrote that pen dry, I think, twice. Purple Cosmo is another favorite of mine. Oh, and KWZ Listy. It has a big, long Polish name that I'm afraid to pronounce, so I just call it Listy, but it's beautiful. And Old Gold. This was a pretty good month. These 3 inks gave me joy. And then this Graphite 4B. Please, in the comments down below, give me recommendations of brown blacks, because I'm looking for inks like this. I'm not sure I would call this a graphite color. This really leans more dark brown to me. But it's sort of like a desaturated dark brown, if that makes any sense at all. It's such a strange color. But let me know if you have any recommendations for a similar color to this. I'll bring it closer so you can have a better look at it. Isn't it a weird color? But I have an old Schaefer Balance that I had this in before, and this is such a lovely combination that I want to explore more of this, whatever this color is in that pen. It was very nice. Okay, August. Oh, Orange August. Orange August was fun. And then like Konpeki and Irish Green. Oh, wow. We're revisiting old swatches, y'all. I really like the sheen, the green sheen in this. I don't remember it being green, but looking at it now, that is very green. That's pretty. I do remember enjoying writing with Alpha Taurus in the Bennu Bourbon. That was a really nice combination, and I appreciated how legible it was for notes. Last month was a pain in the butt. Last month inks were very dry. They were very finicky on certain types of paper, drier papers they didn't like. I had to turn this ink into a different ink completely to get it to work. It was a mess. Well, this was, of course, fantastic, though. It's a very pretty month, though. And so now here we are, back in October again. Yeah, there's some shading in the writing for the Brothers Grimm. There's some nice shading with the pumpkin patch. You can see with the Dracula, these darker spots are where the black pigment has pooled, and even in like the text there, we've got a little bit of pooling black pigment, but there's not a lot of it. And then with the Romania red, we got a little bit of black sheen on there, which makes it really nice. Like, I appreciate that as opposed to what you normally see in reds, which is gold or like a greenish gold. So to see black is really nice. But yeah, this was a good month for ink. I was very happy with how everything turned out. Everything was really legible, which is, great for note-taking and letter writing. And yeah. So, do you guys have any of these inks and pens right now this month? Did you go for a spooky theme to your inks? Or are you more in a fall theme. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you had a great October, and I hope you have an even better November. Also, remember, November 4th is Fountain Pen Day. So keep your eyes peeled for fun things happening around the interwebs and at your local shops and at your favorite online retailers. Make sure you check them out, because you're bound to find like a good deal if there's something out there that you're really looking for. The 4th, November 4th, is the perfect time to get something, or maybe get yourself a Christmas present. You know, that's what I did last year. I bought my Christmas present on Fountain Pen Day, and I made my husband hide it on me until Christmas Day. It was a big surprise. Anyway, I hope you have a great one. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, do the things. Leave a comment, leave a like. If you're not subscribed and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. You have no idea how much that helps out small content creators. Just subscribing. I don't put out that many videos, so don't think that you're going to get bombarded with my content, because it doesn't happen that much anymore. Anyway, have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye.